Caroline Holke. Am I saying that
Okay,
correctly?
that's correct. That's
Okay,
correct.
that is
Yeah.
wonderful. So please tell me more about how you came to do drink less coaching for women and what that even means.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. So I came to this work because of my own journey, as is so typical, right? So I will say that I've always been a drinker. It started as a young age, and that was just part of kind of who I was, part of my identity. And I decided, and it was very much on par with what everybody else was doing around me with my social circle. I will note that, while I would go out and have a number of drinks with my friends or whatever it is, I was always kind of the good girl and got the straight A's or, performed well in school or in my job or whatever it was. I would say a number of years ago, probably about 10 years ago, I started noticing that I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. So, what I mean by that is it felt like I was kind of driving with the emergency brake on. So, I knew that things could be better. And I had a couple of things happen to me personally in my life that, my brother committed suicide. My husband had some health issues. And I realized that I was drinking more than I wanted. And kind of this combination of things came up for me. And I said, you know what, I'm ready to do something about this. And I want to note that for anybody that is out there, that there's a dichotomy in our society. We either drink normally or we have a problem and we have to go to AA or go to rehab and quit. So I'm really here. And my message is there's a huge gap. There are all these offerings for people that the abstinence only model doesn't resonate for you. So if you are like for me, I didn't want to quit drinking. I just wanted to get rid of the shitty parts of drinking. Like I didn't want to be hungover anymore. I didn't want to wake up with feeling groggy or making bad food choices the next day and kind of dragging through my day and then really feeling like I needed that glass of wine at 5 o'clock because I felt so bad because of the wine I'd had the night before. Right.
And
It's like,
you and I literally just met. This is our first time talking face to face.
mhm.
You didn't know this about me, but I, as a mental health professional, I embrace a very different model than the abstinence only one. There's
Mhm.
a model called harm reduction, where
Mhm.
we seek to continue to enjoy the supportive behaviors, the pleasurable behaviors, but in ways that eliminate the harm.
Right.
And so, what I hear you saying is that you still were able to balance your life and enjoy um, partaking of alcoholic beverages in ways that brought pleasure and increased your life experience without causing harm.
Yes. Yes,
I
exactly.
love it. I love it.
So
Now, I
when
want to be
I,
clear, it's not for everybody,
no,
but it's
mm-mm.
for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I will say that particularly after COVID, I mean, the pandemic, American women are reporting that they have 41% more heavy drinking days than before the pandemic. So, this is affecting a lot of people. People turn to alcohol. It's very well noted. There's a lot of studies that show that people turn to alcohol as a stress reliever. We see spikes in sales on alcohol after Katrina or 9/11, or certainly during the pandemic. And what I do with my clients is recognize that, or we work through and understand what's causing stress. Alcohol does not relieve stress. And in fact, it releases hormones within our body that cortisol, for example, which is a stress hormone. So it feels like it does. And it does for the first, I'm not going to lie, it does for the first probably 20 minutes, but that's it. And you'll know this for yourself that, you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and the mind starts racing of how much did I have last night, or did I say something wrong, or whatever it is. And those kind of things, if you pull back and look at the whole picture, it's much easier to see that alcohol is causing more stress lots of times than it is relieving stress. So what I do with my clients is work on those stress situations, like what's causing the stress? How are we thinking about those things? How can we think about those differently, change the perspective? And you've got a whole different, you're working with a whole different set of tools. So to your point about harm reduction, there are plenty of people that go out and that socialize and have a glass of wine. That's fantastic. The clients that are going to wine as a stress reliever, that's something we want to look at, because the most sustainable form of stress relief is when you do something that it's internally produced. So you either, maybe it's do yoga or go for a walk, or, think about how you're thinking about these things. Maybe the stress is caused by, how you're perceiving what's going on. So that's a lot of the work that I do with my clients, is recognizing what's going on there. We work on unwinding the desire for alcohol and to the level at which you want it. So if you want to go out and just drink on the weekends, great, let's do that. A lot of people will say, well, I've tried that before. I've tried the rules. I've tried telling myself that I'm only going to drink on the weekends. And I would argue that what you've done in the past is just utilize willpower. You haven't been utilizing basically an understanding of how the brain works and an understanding of how these neural pathways have formed to begin with, and using that information to create new neural pathways. And that's
you
really
use coaching. You use coaching as your modality.
Yes.
It's really interesting. Of course, I studied coaching in the 80s and 90s, and all the work that I do is always based on a platform of coaching. Even when I'm delivering clinical services, or even like I teach at a university, teach grad students, I always do it in a coaching model, because I found that is the best way to help other people leverage their inner resources, create a vision, and move in that direction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's right, rather, for any of my clients. And I don't claim to know that. I can't know that. I'm not living their life, but their inner wisdom does know. And that's what we can tap into right there.
And as part of your program, do you address some of the nutritional deficiencies and epigenetic changes that happen in an individual's body and their biochemistry as a result of, chronic long-term alcohol use?
I don't get into that part. I really am on the mindset coaching side.
Okay, so, good. So there's lots of opportunities someday to get in that arena, or partner with somebody who does that type of work.
Definitely.
Wow.
Definitely.
That's exciting. Yeah. I am so happy that I met you.
Yeah.
Do you have a website or something that you can put up? Because I with your permission, would like to share this video, just because I'm so excited about the work you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I am too. So tell me when you can see that.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
good.
So
it is good.
So this is my website. It's CarolineHolkeCoaching.com. You'll notice that there's tons of information out here. I want to make a plug for, I've got a whole tab on free resources. So if this is something that has kind of sparked your interest, I encourage you to come to my website, check out the free resources. There is a craving hack that you can download today and start utilizing. And that's just something that you can download to your phone. And when the urge to drink comes up and you have decided that you don't want to drink, or you don't want to drink anymore, give yourself a couple of minutes, pop away, put that craving hack on, and that will really help you surf that wave of the urge or that craving that comes up.
That's beautiful. Now, I see that you have scheduled a free mini session today.
Yes.
Are most of your services geared towards one-on-one, or do you do any group? Okay.
I do all one-on-one. I find that is way more effective to be able to dig into exactly what's going on for each individual client. I've also found that a lot of people are very reticent to actually raise their hand and say, I've got a problem here. I've got, even though I technically don't qualify as an alcoholic or whatever it is, or alcohol use disorder, I know that it's a problem for me in my life. There is absolutely no shame. There is, I can't even tell you how many people will come to me and say, I've never really admitted how much I'm drinking and how much I'm not happy with it. I've never admitted that to anybody. I lie to my doctor. I kind of fib to my doctor about what's going on. And just being able to speak with somebody who understands, who's been there, and who can help is such a relief to a lot of people.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, thank you so much. Is
Yeah.
there another page that you want to show before we
Oh, I can show
end?
the free resources. So there are a bunch of different things here. I mentioned before the craving hack meditation. I've got an urge interruption
Good.
technique as well. Lots of things on my blog. Certainly take me up on the offer for the free coaching session.
Beautiful.
Just last week, that was just one session. I was able to help somebody. So, it doesn't necessarily mean signing up for coaching for a 12-week package. So, that's available for sure, but sometimes just one session is helpful.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
Is there
absolutely.
any parting message that you'd like to leave with this recording so that people know the important things about why they would come to you and what it would look like when they came to you for support?
I think the biggest message is you are not alone by any stretch of the imagination. There are lots of people that are in this area, and that, the idea that you just have to live with it is, just give this a chance, because life can be so much better when you know that you trust yourself to have complete control over how much you're going to drink. It's a fantastic feeling.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Carolyn Holke.
Thank you.